Hey guys, Mark from Gunpla Network. Welcome to my review of the AMS-119 Geara Doga review. Brought to you by Gunpla Builds in Sydney. Huge thanks to Ryan for sending this kit over. It was a pleasure to build, and being one of those kind of newer master grades, even though it was 2013, it's actually really awesome, and we'll see that as we go through the review. We'll start out, as per usual, frame shot only. Now, I know the Jagan was a bit newer than this, but it kind of had that vibe when I was building it. It was a pretty solid inner frame, bit of detail. Those yellow pipes were okay for the most part. I found the ones around the top of the chest there were kind of hard. That's why I've actually got the green piece in. I didn't have to put that in for the frame shot only, but I couldn't get them to stay down any other way, and that kind of helped keep them in place. So worst case, you may need to use a touch of thin cement or something to lock them in once you want them in place there. Here we go, fully loaded up. Now, it comes with two rifles. Now, I've gone for the commander version, and I might get confused. We'll talk about it in the accessories, but there are two rifles. Now, I prefer this rifle. There's a bit more to it. It's a bit bigger. It kind of looks like the commander's rifle. And that was about the only differences here in the suits, when you can see whether you put the fin on it or you put the flat head on it, and there's two different rifles. So, like the Jagan again and the Jester, kind of good amount of accessories for this era of MG grunt suits. Now onto the accessories, and this is everything that you get here. There is quite a lot. Okay, first up, you have the shield. Now, I didn't have any model numbers or name to go with it, but it's a huge shield. It kind of bends a bit in the middle. That piece with it's being held up with on the stand is a movable piece. It can swing, so you can get a good amount of rotation and swing off the arm there. The reason for that bend is because you can actually launch Sturmfaust off of the shield, which is really cool because I don't think we've seen Sturmfaust on many weapons except for maybe the Kämpfer, might have been the other one. And that's always appreciated, those little extra accessories. So you can lock 4 of those in on the shield there. Other than that, it's kind of just a big flat kind of shield. There's not a whole lot of detail to the back parts and the front there. Now, this is the beam machine gun. There was 2. So I think this was more the grunt level, more simpler one. It has a removable magazine, and it comes with a bonus magazine as well that can store in the hip skirt. Overall, not too bad. There are a few nub marks that you can see there, and if you're going to paint, just sand those off and paint. Probably down the middle, there is a bit of a seam, and you want to remove that as well. But overall, not too badly detailed. Now, the one I chose to use, because I went with the beam, so the commander fin on top of mine. So this is the beam machine gun commander use. I got to feel like I might paint this like a Shin Matsunaga or something. I'll pick another commander type unit to do, maybe Johnny Ryden, if he had this. So, and this one just has a bit of a difference. So it's a bit bigger. It's got, I think that's an underslung grenade launcher on the front. It's got a swing out handle for 2-handle hold. The magazine comes out the side there, and you get another one of those as well, which stores on the hip skirt. So, same problem though down the middle. You need to glue that up. This is the grunt pilot figure that you get with it. It was very hard to show this in detail, but it is quite a detailed little figure. I've painted that up there. And that was just done with Tamiya enamels. It actually looks a bit better than what it's coming up on the screen right now, I think. It was really hard to get this one to show, I don't know why. Alright, now you've got the Sturmfaust. You get 4 of those. And you've got 2 different beam weapon handles, which you can store one of those on the back skirt, and then one's in the open position. And it comes with a couple of different, you can make a beam sword or a beam axe with that. And there's your bonus magazines. So tons of accessories with this kit, which is always great because you get to chop and choose on how you want to display, which is really awesome at Bandai on their behalf there. Now, this is your hands and your action base mount in the middle. So you do get 2 different types of hands. You've either got the hands which are in the closed position right now, and the next you've got the weapon hold fingers and the beam axe grips there, or the ones which are in the open position there are actually fully articulated hand finger things. Now, if you wanted an open expressive hand, use that. If you want to hold something, use the ones which are like the part finger swap out ones, because they're just so much more solid. and they get the locking peg on them. So here's the beam handle with the sword position open, and I do like this. It's kind of like a really raw kind of looking a beam sword that it can charge through with. You get a bit of range on it. Here it is with the other open handle, and this is in the beam axe position. Now, there's no hole in the top there to attach the sword on top of the axe. You have to use two different handles. And there's the alternate effect part for the, I think that's more like a halberd style effect part rather than an axe. All right, articulation time. Oop, there goes the rifle, so we'll put that aside. Remove the shield. So overall, this is a fairly solid kit. There's your 1 point of articulation on the shield, apart from the bend, and that's for launching the Sturmfaust. So you can swing around and launch them the other way too if you've used them. Now, as you can see, while the inner frame was plenty detailed, there is a lot of exposed panel that's just flat here, begging for some scribing to be done. The head does get a decent look up. Camera. There's your commander fin head. You do also get a flat piece. The arms rotate pretty well, and the shoulders on both have a good amount of hinge movement, which is pegged into the shoulder there. Now, the only restriction is with those shoulder pieces, you kind of get, it's a bit hard to go too far parallel. They do pull out a good way there. The frame's got some good movement on the arms. You get your peg hole in the back of the forearm there for the shield. You get piping everywhere, which is hidden under, and you can just see it there. On the back side, though, you just get kind of grey metal looking stuff. But you can get a decent bend there. You'll still hit the thruster on the front, though, when you're doing that. The hands rotate around. They're just inside on a ball joint. The other shield is similar and moves around. It's got a good amount of movement, but same deal. It is going to kind of block you from raising the arm up too far. Torso will bend a bit. He's got a pretty big backpack on. Waist movement, not too bad. Skirts, just on a ball joint, so they'll be restricted by the hose a little. The back skirt, not a whole lot to go with, but it's fine. Oh, and there comes the front skirt out. It's just on a ball joint. Will pop out, but it's all right. The leg, will go up. And you get some exposed under kind of frame there within. Pretty good. There's like a piston down the front between the hoses. Those legs were pretty hard. Not 3.0 arm level hard assembly wise, but yeah, like they just were a little bit getting those hoses to stay in place under armor and stuff while you were doing it was pretty bad. Now the leg will go back, but it will hit the back skirt. And you can pretty much do the splits, which is awesome. And that, as you can see, that front skirt just wants to pop off all the time. Painting will kind of, fix that a little. So overall, pretty good articulation. The backpack, the verniers move a little, but not much. Alrighty, comparison time. So here he is with the RG Zaku, which obviously I painted. That's a Char Zaku, and I painted it up in I had a little thing with a friend, Scott, saying we'll both do the RG Zaku, paint it up and see what happens. And I went for a purple kind of white color scheme, and he went for a more greenish one. But there it is, comparison to the RE100 Zaku 2 from War in the Pocket, and which is a slightly newer mold than that last one you saw there, so it looks a bit different. And overall size comparison, the Geara Doga is huge, and since we did an RE100, we may as well do an MG as well, and the recently reviewed MG Goof. So even though the Goof is pretty bulky and huge itself, the Geara Doga's still got the height. It would definitely fit in with all your Xeon suits. Now, overall, I was digging this kit. There it is with the other beam machine gun in a holding pose with the Sturmfaust and the shield and stuff. I feel like it's pretty stable. It can stand. It'll do any pose almost that you want. Like you can bend down, you can kick. It's almost stable enough to leave one-legged in the cabinet. But yeah, like I feel like in an action-based pose up in the air, that's what you kind of want to do with it. So yeah, kind of like this maybe, which was, I think it was one off the box I was looking at. Flying through space, two-handed holding the bigger machine gun. maybe diving with the axe or the sword. Hell, you get enough hands, you could probably two-handed wield, actually. So I guess that brings me to the end of the review. And yeah, for a near 10-year-old kit now, this is pretty awesome. So well done, Bandai. I think the only thing you left out of this with all the accessories and everything got was some water slides, perhaps. Maybe you'll start just including them with every kit instead of making us pay for them additionally. Yeah, overall, I guess it was really good. Huge thanks to Ryan for sending this over. This was amazing. I love it. It'll definitely look good now with the Goof and the RE100 and stuff in my cabinet. I'm building a little Xeon collection, but I'm mainly Federation all the way, GMs. So yeah, definitely grab this kit, guys. Check out the link to Ryan's website below. And yeah, great kit, definitely. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Keep building, and I'll catch you next time.